Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to a great video by Falto. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Xenoblade Iceberg, which was made by me, Tyrea, Simp, ProkoKing, and the Crack Wizard. And just so you guys know, this video is going to be the part 1, as when we recorded, part 1 and part 2 together, it was too long, so I decided to split it up into 2 parts. And yeah, and I'll let my guests introduce themselves.
I guess I'll start. I am just someone who likes Tyrea. That's why I'm here.
Yep. And ProkoKing.
I am the ProkoKing. Hello.
He is a king of all Prokos.
Indeed, my friend.
And the Crack Wizard, or as I call him, Crackhead as a joke.
It's not wrong.
True. It's very true. Life is like crack. It kills you the more you do it, but... So
if I call him Crackhead by accident in here, don't get upset in the video.
Was Fire the one who screamed and led me to crack in the middle of that last
I don't
video?
Remember that. I don't remember. No, alright, though. Anyways, without any further ado, let's get started with the iceberg. So in this iceberg, we are going to have, like, I believe, 6 categories. Oh no, sorry, 7 categories.
7 categories, but one's really stupid. Two of them are like stupid.
I mean, to be fair, 3 of them are stupid, but yeah. Anyways, but yeah,
half of them are stupid. A few of them are like actual, like, genuine iceberg stuff or something. I don't know.
Now, I will have timestamps for each category. I don't know for each, entry, because that might be too much. But yeah, but I know I'll have each category for each, like, category at least. I'll have a timestamp for each category. I'll have a category for each category. Okay. Anyways,
I have a timestamp for every single different point on the iceberg.
No. That is maybe I'm probably not gonna do that, but I may do it if I'm bold enough. But nah, probably not. Anyway, so
I'll do it when I'm bored and leave it in the comments.
Actually, you know what? If you want to do that, go ahead. You know what? Thank you for doing it if you want to do it. Anyway, so the first...
Do that instead of commenting first in the video.
Alright, so the first category is called Normie Stuff, and what Normie Stuff basically is, it's stuff that people who haven't played the game or series, they would know, or people that have just got into the game, so it's like stuff that, like, basically is like common, like very common, in fact so common that even people that haven't played the game, they might know, or people that are just getting into the game, they might know as well. And the first one is, Tyrea, Sam, take it away. Or the first entry, I should say.
The first entry is just about the YouTuber ProkoKing, who essentially saved the Xenoblade series by doing a Let's Play of it before it got popular. Well, his Let's Play being the thing that made it popular.
Yep. And the next thing is Anel, actually. Now, Anel, he is kind of like the ninja of Xenoblade 2. I know he speedrun other games too, like other Xeno games, but now he's mostly focused on Xenoblade 2, if I'm correct. And basically, he is the go-to guy if you want to know how to play the Xenoblade games. Like if you need help on how to get better, like how to build an optimal setup, etc. He's a guy to go to because he has some great guys on the Xenoblade game, especially 2. And he also speed runs the game as well. In fact, I believe he has the world record in Xenoblade 2, right? For at least a few categories, so I'm correct.
This next one is crashing the mobile artillery into a house. Is when it's one of the early cutscenes in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, where Colonel Vanguard shouts, "Crashing the mobile artillery into a house."
Crashing the mobile house into artillery?
That's later on the iceberg, buddy. It has spawned a lot of funny videos, however.
Alright, next up we have, it is, what time is it?
It's run time, baby!
Let's go!
Shulk's best friend in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 has a very popular line that is famous outside of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, in part due to its inclusion in Super Smash Bros. As a line that Shulk will reference with the...
now it's Shulk time.
Now it's Shulk time.
Yep.
But the original line is "Now it's Rhine time" in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and it's quite famous.
Yeah, Ryan even goes, you'll have some quality Ryan time later on.
Now, speaking of Rhine time, what's also in Smash is the next thing, which is...
I'm really feeling it. I don't think anything else really needs to be said about that.
Because
True.
he's really feeling it.
Every Shulk main and their mom quotes that.
Alright, now we're going to move on to a comment amongst the fans, which is the second category. And in this category, if it's not already obvious, this category will contain spoilers for the games entirely.
The rest of the video does, by the way.
Yes, yeah.
As the video will contain heavy spoilers.
Yes, and basically what comment amongst fans is basically it's stuff that if you played the games either, you know, hardcore or casually, then you would probably figure it out by not doing too much effort because the game either tells you or it's easy to, like, you know, figure it out on your own. So, yeah. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is 1 and 2, they take place at the exact same time. Now, basically, now, Xenoblade 1 and 2, they actually happen at the exact same time because the game, like, it kind of tells you. Because, basically, Klaus, he's in both games, because what happened is Klaus, he, like, long ago, he was doing an experiment, right? And the experiment went wrong. And basically, he kind of just, like, made a new universe, sort of, with the Conduit or the Zohar. And yeah, and that other universe was 1's universe, and the original one was the 2's universe. And in the end of 2, you know, we even see Klaus, or well, okay, we even see Shulk's voice through the through like Klaus's void, like today we use our power to fellow god, and then blank, etc. Yes, I forgot to quote. I'm a fake fan.
Our destiny.
I'm a fake fan. Cancel me. Okay, so yes, so 1 and 2 they take place at the exact same time. And next up we have
Tyrea's part comms, which I believe one of you guys put this on here. Of course,
that's your part.
Yeah, of course I have to be the one reading it.
Yeah, you're Tyrea, Simp.
Yeah, but basically at the end of Tyrea's side quest, we learned that she is part comms, and that's why she didn't turn into a Telepia after Mechanisk War. And specifically after doing the side quest, a new NPC explains that it was actually her dad being half, so she's not quite half comms. She's like, that would be like a quarter, I guess?
2/3 maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Hashtag cancel Tora. Tora is horny. See, Tora, in a lot of Xenoblade 2, actually, is constantly trying to sexualize Poppy, who originally has the form of a child. And when he first creates Poppy, he is caught having a questionable outfit in his closet, and having her awaken in a very sensual moe kind of way.
He said those settings were made by his Grampy Susu, so...
But Tora
did. I'm gonna believe him.
But Tora did actually do it, you know? Like, Tora could have decided to not do that, but he chose to do it and go along.
And there's more. There is more to this as well. In one of the heart-to-hearts for the game.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Tora is caught trying to put Poppy in a bunny suit, which, if they're anything like the Xenoblade X bunny suits, is basically a bikini. But
well, not to mention that. Sorry for cutting you off, but not to mention that in the Japanese version, like they actually say bikini itself. I just said it in the English dub. I guess they censored that, but in the
I think that's what he was getting to.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh yeah, that was what I was getting to. But also, I'm pretty sure there's also a dog mode for Poppy, which that's the thing that exists as well.
Let's also not forget the whole blushy crushy arc.
There's a lot of. By the way, one thing that you did not bring up about the bikini censorship to a bunny outfit. The purpose given in the English version of the bunny outfit overwhelms you with cuteness and makes you fight better. In the function in the Japanese was when it gets hit, it falls off.
Oh!
The bikini.
So it's basically like us
That's not
stripping,
armor, that sounds
basically.
bad.
Yeah.
Now, not to mention this, so yeah, so you guys forgot one thing. You see, Tora, or I should say, Tora, he programmed a non-Nippon like voice or like accent on Poppy, because when she's first revealed and in Blushy Crushy, she speaks like a normal human. So
right.
yeah, so I guess it's a kink of some sort of, you know, having that normal accent. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just something that I wanted to mention, but yeah. Alright, it's fine. Alright, so next up, we are moving to another Hierophon, which is...
Hierophon Ricky Bestest. It's literally his child going...
HD based boosted too.
I don't know what to tell you. The original version had like a type of sauce to it that it cannot be contained even in definitive edition. It's just a little. It's just a young Nopon going Hierophon Ricky Bestest after he beats the Dino Beast, and it's wonderful. The next one is Think You Can Take Me as well. So that's which is when the Ardanian, or I guess any Ardanian kind of looking soldier enemy type in Xenoblade 2, they will shout, "Think you can take me!" among other voice lines, and they are all glorious.
And there's a video made out of that.
Yeah. If you haven't, do yourself a favor and look up Xenoblade 2 battle theme, but you won't forget it. Do yourself a favor and listen to that because it's glorious.
Yep. And the next thing is... Yes, I'll probably add in the description if I don't forget. And the next thing I want to talk about is, a double spinning edge. So, a double spinning edge is actually one of Rex's famous moves, or arts, I should say, not moves. So basically, and why it's famous is because basically, when you use Mithra, and you've filled her affinity chart, she will basically recharge her arts, or I guess Rex's arts whenever you do a crit hit. So basically, and you can make Mithra have high crit rate, it's not that hard. So with Mithra having a high crit rate, and so which means that you'll get crit rate very often, and you can basically just spam double spinning edge for the entire battle, or almost for the entire battle, and win.
Don't forget that double spinning edge is a, well, guess what, 2-hit art.
Yes, yeah.
So you can just spam it.
So you have twice as chance of getting a crit rate, basically. Yeah, and the next thing is
Blade Prostitution. I think that this one is actually another one that's quite self-explanatory. The game straight up says people will buy blades that look.
Yeah.
Okay. To be fair,
this is just a common thing. Just sell blades that look like humans. That's
to be fair. The game it doesn't actually tell you. It just that however it is very well hinted. Yeah.
I mean, very well hinted. They say that blades that look like humans they sell for much higher prices.
Yeah.
I will say that someone who's a kid playing, they will probably not get this. Someone who's a teen and onward, they'll probably understand it.
To be fair, a kid is not going to be playing Xenoblade Chronicles.
Well, fair, but I'm sure many kids play.
I was 13, if that counts.
That's not a kid. I would say it's like a 9-year-old kid. I don't think their parents are going to let them do that.
I mean, look, parents, they let their kids play Endgame,
I was younger than that playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, so yeah. Anyways, the next thing we should move on to is... Speaking of blades, actually.
We are Ursula's New Groove. Basically, in the original release of Xenoblade 2, you couldn't skip voice acting cutscenes, so whenever you sent Ursula on a Merc mission to do her extremely long side quest that requires you to send her on 100, I think over 100 different Merc missions, you had to hear her say, "We are Ursula's New Groove," over and over and over again.
Albus is an Aegis, and we're going to connect this to the one after this as well. Malos, Mithra, and Albus are the kids of Klaus. In Xenoblade 2's Chapter 10 cutscene, it is revealed that when Klaus pressed the big red button, that there was actually 3 Trinity processors, and that the third one actually got warped out of reality along with a bunch of other stuff, including half of Klaus's body, which that half became Xansa. Because of this, it is hence considered that most likely that one was that third Trinity processor was Albus, although it was originally called Ontos, and it's been more or less confirmed in the definitive edition release of Xenoblade 1. Yeah, that's...
Whether or not people call that a retcon or not is up for debate, but still.
Yeah,
I'd say
they didn't directly say it isn't. It doesn't really contradict anything. So.
Yeah, it's. I feel like
Yeah.
I doubt 2's plans were that I guess planned out at the end when they released Xenoblade 1. So we can let it slide.
Xenoblade 1 wasn't even meant to be a series.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't think
It wasn't even meant
X...
to be called the Xenoblade.
Now I think
not a beginning of the world.
And not to mention, when they made X, I don't think they planned to make, or at that point they didn't want to, I guess, make a connection game.
They
so
did
connect the game.
Plan.
They did.
Stuff.
They did.
Oh, they did. Okay,
yeah.
sorry. Then
Yeah, there's a lot
Never
of stuff
mind
they
then.
planned. A lot of the stuff from Xenoblade 2 is actually kind of from X, but it's just horribly fleshed out in X.
Okay. Anyways, we'll get into that later on. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is ProkoKing. This is you.
Klaus is Xansa and the Architect. It is basically confirmed that when whole Trinity processor stuff, or when Klaus made a whole other universe, half of his body became Xansa in Xenoblade 1, and the other half remained in his old world that eventually became All Rest and was Klaus. And since half of his, I guess, being was gone, he has a black hole for half of his side, so.
Yep, and the next one is Nia is a blade. Now, this is actually, sorry, she's actually a flesh eater to be more more accurate.
Specific.
Yeah,
Blade
but yes.
is Blade.
Yeah, now the game, so basically, Nia, now, in fact, she was part of Torna, and the theme of Torna was that, Torna, like each of their member, they're like hybrids of, humans and blades, and Nia was also one of those kinds. She was she was originally a blade who then turned into a flesh eater to save her sister, but it did, actually, no, sorry. Nia's father, she got Nia to try to save her daughter from dying, and when her daughter died, her father wanted some girl's father got Nia as a blade to cure his daughter, and then when he couldn't save his daughter, he then asked Nia to basically let her daughter live within Nia. So he made Nia go through the flesh-eating process and basically made his daughter's heart or something be inside of Nia, so that Nia will basically act as his daughter and she can quote unquote live onwards. And Nia, she hid that fact for basically she was ashamed of it, and she was also scared that Rex would just leave her if she told him about this, or Rex would hate her. And yeah, until one day, or until one time when she needs to save, and she's like, you know what, enough is enough, and I'm going to not stand back and be scared. I'm not gonna be scared. I'm just gonna be who I am. And
I don't think it's physically impossible for Rex to hate anyone.
I mean, true. Besides,
he didn't even hate Malos after everything he did.
Yeah. To be fair, actually, yes, I do get that. Maybe Rex has a disease which forces him to never be angry.
It's called anime protagonist syndrome.
Yes. All right. Moving on to the next two topics, which are actually kind of linked together.
Yeah. So chain attack and fusion combos. Chain attack is kind of like a 1 and 2 kind of shtick for both. But chain attacks are a very vital. They're very vital, essential to knowing how the combat works. You get a chain attack, in Xenoblade 1, the battle is very strong. If you get a fusion combo in Xenoblade 2, your battle's also as good as 1 if you can lock them in said fusion combo. They're very important. The problem with fusion combos is the game doesn't tell you amazingly how they work, but I mean, once you figure it out, they do everything for you. The game becomes really easy. Obviously, there's still tough fights, but like once you get fusion combos down, you can chain attack and hit damage cap really easily.
Yep, and the next thing is actually about X. Now, X did not have chain attack, so instead they had overdrive. And Crack Wizard, would you like to talk about this?
Sure, I'm not actually going to explain how it works in Xenoblade X. I will instead explain how it works in Xenoblade 2, because Xenoblade 2 watered down chain attack or overdrive a lot. And this is important because overdrive will take way too long to explain how all of it works in regards to Xenoblade X. So I'm going to explain how it works in regards to Xenoblade 2 instead, which is the watered down version. But basically, when you enter overdrive, you have a set duration, which can range up to like a whole minute, where whenever you do an art or a special or some kind of attack that has a hit count, that hit count will be in some way, shape, or form tacked onto a special counter that you have kind of in the center of the screen. Normally it's like center of your art palette, but because your art palette is weird in Xenoblade 2 compared to Xenoblade X, they put it just kind of center bottom of the screen where it would normally be, but whatever. In Xenoblade X, the counter goes up to 100. In Xenoblade 2, it goes up to 1000. The overall specifics of how much each point is worth on that counter, though, will change variably between the two games. But each point you gain on the counter will increase specific stats and make it easier to apply debuffs, increase your damage output. It increases art cooldown time, or reduces art cooldown time. In Xenoblade 2, it'll actually increase the amount you will need to refill your chain attack gauge in order to loop the overdrive. But in Xenoblade X, it kind of will do the exact opposite, which is nice. But in Xenoblade 2, every time you land a hit with a normal art, it'll build 1 point of the counter, whereas every time you land a hit with a special, that individual hit will count for 5 points to the counter. That's about it. I'm not explaining how color combos work. Or party stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so that was it for the Comment Amongst Fans category, and now we can move onwards to the third category, which is Deep Lore. And basically, this is stuff where like if you play the game casually, then you probably won't get it, or like it'll just like, I guess, like it'll go above your head. But this type of stuff, like you gotta like actively, look at it and then ponder or or look it up, etc.
Yeah, that's more stuff like you have to seek out information about, from like either the community or from other sources, like aka Chuck Conroy. But this is stuff like, if you've played the game a few times now, you know how like inner workings work, lore, certain gameplay mechanics and stuff like that.
Yeah. Alright, and the first one I'm gonna talk about here is that, it's actually, so the first two are kind of connected because they're both about Jin, but so the first one is Jin never wanted to kill the architect, and he was just bluffing the entire time. Now, I know this is a little hard to, believe this, but I theorized that, you see, Jin actually didn't want to die. Well, actually, no, he did want to die because he felt sad, but like, he didn't want to die in the sense that he wants to kill everyone, including the architect. That was Malice's goal. To die. He just wanted to get back to it. Yeah, and now this is said by Rex, because at chapter 9 of Xenoblade 2, Jin, he kind of wanted to, I guess, live, or from that point, like, or I guess, be the quote-unquote good guy. But yeah. So the theory is that he wanted to die but not kill everyone, and he saw Malus and he's like, hey, look, this guy's giving me I guess protection, etc. And and he bonded with Malus very well. So, and Malus wanted to kill everyone, and cause he's Malus. And yeah, so he just joined Malus, and yeah, but he himself didn't want to do this, and he hated every single bit of it, which is what we theorize. In fact, even Rex in chapter 8, he says, I don't think you want to kill the architect. I can see it through you, because like Rex kind of calls out his bullshit, like, because Rex is like, hey, Jin, are you sure you want to do this? Because it doesn't seem like you want to be the quote-unquote bad guy, So, yeah. I mean, I know this is not fully confirmed, but this is just a theory. And the next one is Laura's ghost was watching Jin in 2. Now, whether or not you believe in ghosts or not, that's up to you. But for a second, if ghosts exist in Xenoblade 2, I can assure you that Laura was watching Jin the entire time, and she would have felt disgusted by this. In fact, in chapter 9,
I don't feel like she's. I feel like she's more sad than disgusted.
Well, or like she's
the
upset.
entirety of a moment of eternity kind of proves Laura knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah. So in fact, in chapter 9, when he sees I guess he thinks he sees Laura, that could be her ghost actually, just watching him, and she's not happy at all, just. And then that's when she's like, okay, I should stay back and not, go for it. Which is why he stayed back. Because he's like, what if Rex can't stop Malus, so, but yeah. And again, this is not confirmed, it's just a theory, so, but yeah. Next up, we have...
Malus Logos form. This is mostly about if Malus and Amalthus were close enough, or if Amalthus could just feel emotion, they could have created a better bond, making a Numa-style Aegis, just like how Rex was able to really find that within Numa.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Alright, sounds good. Alright, next up we have...
There are only 2 Xenoblade Chronicles X soundtracks. Don't worry and we're fleeing, the rest are just hallucinations.
Are we gonna leave it that? We're gonna explain.
That doesn't need any explanation.
Okay,
anymore.
alright.
Yeah, no,
Alright, it's fine. Okay. Alright, so next up we have the
only Aegises can give birth.
Now, this one actually will need some explanation. So basically,
spicy for this one.
Basically, so blades, they can't give birth in Xenoblade 2. Otherwise we would have probably seen that, or by in a side quest or something. But yeah, so blades, they're kind of, I guess you could say they're sterile. I think that's the proper term. Except for the Aegis. And not in the way that, I mean in the way that basically the Aegis, she'll take either a sperm or an egg, and she'll just create life, because the Aegis, they have all of the life forms, data or DNA in them. So basically with that, they can just make a baby or just make a kid, and yeah, and it's nothing sexual. It's I'm just talking about, something like science stuff. So yeah, so it's pretty interesting. Cause I know that they can fix cracked cores, so, and I know that they have the data on all, humans' life, or all creatures' life forms, so yeah. So, which is why I said that only they can quote-unquote give birth or make a baby. And it can be of any species, not just humans too.
Now you have me curious as to how, a human blade hybrid would work. Would it be like Hyantia,
no,
half blade, half human, or whatever?
Okay, sorry. This would not be a blade. This would just... Actually, it could be, but it'd be easier to say that this would be a human, or just a normal, species, not like a hybrid.
Anyway, next entry is a gameplay mechanic, so... Yeah. It's about the whole below down Amalthus into a hole. Basically, during chapter 9, you fight, Tentacle Amalthus. I don't know what he is. Some sort of... Amalthus went crazy. We all know this.
Amalthus.
I swear to God. So yeah, Amalthus. It's a decently difficult boss fight Honestly, like if you don't know what you're going to, because you just fight Jin before, and that's all like pretty difficult boss fight because it's Jin. However, Amalthus like kind of breaks a hole through the world tree to kind of get in there. And Infinity Blade with Blowdown, with specials that inflict Blowdown like Adnine or Ursula, then essentially Ursula's level 3. This is really good for this. You can knock Amalthus back into the hole where he came from, and it insta kills him. Yep. I'm not entirely too sure if you get the drops, but I mean, hey, the only thing I think that's the only thing that drops.
I don't think you would get the. Actually, no, wait. Because it's a what do you call a story boss fight. I think you would get the drop. So I'm not entirely sure on that one.
All right.
I think we'd have to ask Anel for that one.
All right.
All right. And next one we have Tyrea Sim. This one's your thing.
Yeah. Tora knew Morag was a woman. In the heart-to-heart, what is it called? I think it's like...
Rub-a-dub-dub.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That one. Basically just like, you all know the one. He asks everyone to go into the hot spring.
To be fair, it's very funny.
And on the main path, for that, or at least the main one that everyone remembers, Tora discovers that Morag is a woman, or at least that's how we see it if we choose that option. But on the other one, he has a line that very clearly states that he knew the entire time.
Which changes your perspective on it, like, cause it changed my.
It completely changes the perspective on Tora, and anyone who respects Tora should watch that.
Yep, this is going back to the horny.
Because like Tora's really smart too. Like he's a smart character.
Yeah, that is true.
Smart, horny, bonk.
All right, the next one is Pyra or Mithra. Now, this one is not. This one is pretty self-explanatory if you played the game. But basically, now what's down here? Like I'll explain like in a bit. But basically, so in chapter 8, you get to pick what you want to call Numa in the battle, like Pyra or Mithra. Like even Mithra asks, or sorry, Rex asks Mithra like, hey, what should I call you, Pyra or Mithra? And she's like, hey, I don't care, just call me whatever, cause it's both me, and that's what you get to pick. Now, fans, why this is so down low is because fans are divided upon this. Like some say Pyra, some say Mithra, and they have people will tell you a paragraph as to why they picked one or the other. So yeah, so you can get pretty, I guess, pretty like a warish. So so I'll just leave it.
Does anyone want to say their picks for whether they picked Pyra or Mithra?
I've picked both. I've played like many, so I'll say both. But yeah.
Yeah, I've played multiple times, so I have picked both.
I've only picked Pyra because I think Pyra's a bit funnier.
I have only picked Mithra.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Alright. Okay, guys, let's move on, okay.
And speaking of Mithra, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Mithra made hentai food in Tarna. You see that? That's her ship, all the weird pixels and all that on that food or something she was making. Probably just a hentai dojin made out of food. That's probably all.
She made a hot dog in the shape of a dick, so
Big
that's why. and it tasted bad too, because there was no mustard.
It almost killed him.
Carbon's good for you.
Who's gonna save the world if Rex gets his runs?
Well, I mean, all right. Next one we have is
Top-locking. Top-locking.
Yay!
It's fun. It's fun. Top-locking is the act of in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 when you topple an enemy in the rest of the battle, basically. Basically, what you want to do is you want to get a good party setup that has a lot of really good topple arts. I typically like to use Dunban, Ryan, and Shulk just because it also works with daze locking, but you can really use anyone with a good topple. So, like, if you want to use melee, go ahead. But basically, it's just toppling an enemy, keeping them toppled there, building up your chain attack, starting the chain attack, so you freeze the topple timer, then unleashing a bunch of other topple arts. and
It
then
is a
repeat.
monster.
Yeah, basically stun. It's basically stun lock, but
add
it wins battles basically.
Yeah, it does win.
Really broken against a lot of the super bosses too, because the super bosses, most of the super bosses don't have topple spikes, and there's nothing they can really do about it aside from Blizzard Bel'Ghaz. But even then, that one isn't the strongest there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's only Blizzard Bel'Ghaz.
Add on something about There's some stuff I'd like to add on about topple locking. Topple locking does technically exist in all 3 mainline Xenoblade games. It's very different in each one, though. Xenoblade 1 is probably the most infamously problematic one.
Yeah.
In Xenoblade 2, it's reformed quite a bit, so it's dependent more on an RNG-based stat, which is the luck stat, as well as things like break resistance, and you can't technically stack it permanently, you can just re-loop it over and over again. And this is like driver combos and
in Xenoblade 2 it's more
Xenoblade
2 is more like driver combo locking. But you can lock an enemy into driver combos. It's not hard.
So basically, so you just keep doing a driver combo, and not to mention, if you have a fusion combo with that too, then like you'll probably just so you'll just deal that damage over time again and again,
whenever you smash an enemy in Xenoblade 2, their damage over the time they take is increased. So if you have like a damage over time set of strategy, you want driver combo access too.
Yeah. There's in Xenoblade X, it's very weird because while it's called topple locking, you can't actually do it infinitely because of a couple of unique mechanics that Xenoblade X has that are not exclusive to topple, but do effectively remove the problem of making topple locks infinite. Which are that buffs and debuffs have different ranks, and whenever you reapply a buff or a debuff, it has a 15% chance to rank up. And buffs and debuffs do not stack or reapply, or whatever, if it is a lower tier variant, which means that there's that 15% chance in the context of topple is a 15% chance for it to just become your final topple, and you are stuck with that one as your last topple, and it'll end. Which is why Xenoblade X has the best topple.
Alright.
Fight me.
Alright, speaking of...
Still like Xenoblade 1 top locking, it's just funny.
Speaking of Xenoblade X, we have the next entry,
I have no idea how to explain this, but...
Z30 hurry.
The Jury battle is what it is if you remove the numbers, because... just look it up, people. Just look it up. Whoever is doing the
put it in the description.
Just put the name. Yeah, just put it in the description. Put like the name on screen or something. Whatever.
Yeah.
The best
Jury battle.
Yeah. So but
hands down.
So,
mind you, it's a hallucination, but it's still the best song.
and I actually don't know why this is so low, but I mean, but basically, this is a very, I guess you could say, nice name. We'll say that. It's very easy to read the name.
Yep, real fun.
Yeah. Just like all the other.
Uncontrollable and that hard to read. When you listen to the lyrics, like, oh, I can't understand any of this.
All right.
Two singers speaking at the same time.
Basically.
Next up is also kind of Xenoblade X related. It's also related to Future Connected. There is a common theory that the Tainted, an enemy type that is introduced in Chapter 5 of Xenoblade X, one of the 2 most important chapters in that game, probably, besides, like, Chapter 12, are actually the Fog Beast / Fog... Well, no, more so the Fog Beast, not the Fog King.
Yeah.
But the Fog Beast from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 Future Connected. In summary, they're kind of the same overall. But in Xenoblade X, there's what, like 6 or 7 it's somewhere like 6 to 8 different enemy types, and usually if an enemy is classified under like a specific one of those categories, it will not have like a specific naming pattern that will overlap with an enemy from a different category. Like Piscinoids and Theroids. But the Tainted do not give a rat's ass about that, and they will choose to be whatever category they want, similar to how the Fog Beasts were just tainted, or they were just corrupted enemies from Xenoblade. 1, see if you're connected. That's pretty much the extent of a theory. They are just very similar.
Alright, moving on to a character from Xenoblade 1, we have...
Dixon! He is as old as Zanza. That's all that's really need to know. He's been a disciple from Zanza since, like, basically, I don't know, Zanza's interception after the whole, like, rebirth of the world and whatnot.
Yeah, he's basically a Zanza simp. That
simp.
is a very I guess like short way of
Dixon
saying.
is fallen, Lorthea too.
The outfit that Zanza has in Mechonis Core after being released from Salt, on the Wii version, his butt was completely exposed. I am not making this up. If you look
is this
at
like? Is this like NES Magic Hand Japanese version or whatever?
Kind of, but this is like really weird because for some reason there's just like a cutout around his butt, and it's just like this perfect circle.
It's the part
to show his butt, and you would never really see it in game because he's always glowing. But if you look at the model without the glowing effect, it's there, and they changed it in Definitive Edition.
I'm looking this up.
I wonder why, but alright. Moving on to the next thing, which is actually like less cursed, which is
Alchemoth item warped in Future Connected. They rotated the map, but didn't rotate the item, so that the map looks like.
Yeah, I'll probably like show a picture up on
screen.
I'll actually just like direct message you so you have it easy.
Yeah. Sounds good.
There's really not much more to say about this. The image is self-explanatory.
Yeah. Yeah, alright. So that is it for Deep Lore. Yeah. So there you had it. That was part 1 of this iceberg. We will see you guys in the next part, which should be coming out pretty darn soon. So goodbye.